Welcome to Mountains and Whiskey, a channel about micro-adventures, mountains and, you guessed it, whiskey. Today's video is how to reproof a ground sheet that's lost its hydrostatic head. If you like it, please hit like. And I would love if you subscribed, as I will be posting more how-to videos, reviews and micro-adventure videos for your pleasure. Good morning, guys. So, last weekend, my brother-in-law and I decided that we would start to do micro-adventures. If anybody hasn't seen that yet, I would highly suggest that you go and have a look at Alistair Humphreys on YouTube. The general concept is, rather than focus on the 9 to 5, you focus on the 5 to 9. The time that's your own, so you can get out and have a micro-adventure. So my brother-in-law and I decided to just go within 5 miles of our houses. We're very lucky, we stay in a small town, and just outside the town there's quite a number of small hills. So we decided to go on this micro-adventure last Friday night. So I dug out my old camping kit and my old North Face West Wind tent. Unfortunately, what transpires is that the tent is probably coming up for 25 years old and the PU coating on the ground sheet has started to deteriorate. So that evening, as we camped out and I was sitting on the ground sheet making my tea, what I realised is that my bottom was getting rather cold. When I stood up, it was actually very wet, and the pressure that I'd been putting on the ground sheet between the snow that we were camping on the ground sheet had basically made the water seep through. So I thought, right, we need to fix this problem. So here we are in my trusty garage, excuse the mess, and I'm just right now, as you can see, guying the tent out as best I can, tying it to weights and numerous pieces of equipment in an effort to stretch out as best I can. I've cleaned the bottom of it, again, as best as I can. It is 25 years old, so it does have marks. And I've done a bit of investigation on the internet. And what I've found is this. I can't tip it up because it's open at the moment, but basically it's pastidip, multi-purpose rubber coating, along with some pastidip thinners. So you're supposed to use this in a 10% thinners to 100% pastidip ratio. And I did a bit of investigation, and while you can reproof a tent quite easily, restoring the hydrostatic head to a ground sheet is a little bit more difficult, and this came recommended by numerous people after I'd done a bit of research. So today I'm going to attempt to hydrostatically reproof my ground sheet, and that's the plan. As you can see here, it is very thick. I mean, I don't know if I can get a good view of this, but as you can see, it doesn't move much. It's like syrup, which is why you need the thinners for actually painting it on. So I'll be honest, this is the first time I've ever made a video like this. I'm a big fan of getting stuck in and fixing things myself. So I thought, well, I can't be the only person having this problem. So I'm going to record this and see how we get on. And I'll report back later. I'm going to finish pinning it out now, and then I'll give you guys a shout later. Okay guys, so here we have it. That is the fly sheet tensioned out as best I can. And the whole purpose of this is to try and eliminate any wrinkles so that when I do paint this on, it's just a little bit smoother. As you can see, I've not gone for anything complicated, just some string and some old weights that I have lying around for when I exercise. And as you can see there, it's quite easy just to move them and tension them and get what can only be described as a reasonably smooth fly sheet. So, on to the mixing. Okay, so I think I said earlier that the proposed amount is 10% thinners to 100% pastidip. So what I'm going to do here is I'm using a plastic measuring jug just so I can be sure that whatever I'm putting in here, I can get that 10%. So we're going to have a go now. We're going to see what it looks like. So I've gone for roughly half of this, I think. Slightly less, it's sitting at about 250 mil. So like everything, it's best laid plans. What I've realised is that measuring 10% of give or take 250 ml will be very difficult using the big jug. Great for mixing, not so good for that. So I have went and stolen one of the kids' Calpol measuring sticks. We have lots of these. And of course this lets you accurately measure 5 ml. So that's what we're going to do, because I need 25 millimeters worth of thinner to mix in with this. The recommendation is between 10 and 20%. I'm going to go with 10 in the first instance, and we'll see how it goes. So that's 10% there. Yeah, that's made quite a significant difference. Whoa, smelly. Now I did ask Pastidip via email if you needed to wear any specialist breathing equipment or anything like that, and they said if you're brushing it on, no. If you're spraying it on, very different. But if you're just brushing it on, shouldn't be a problem. That still looks very thick to me. I think I'm going to go for a little bit more thinner. As I say, they say it can go between 10 and 20%, so I'm just going to add a couple more, mix it in and just see what that does. I don't know if you can see there, but now we're starting to get it flowing. Very thick. It does say stir very well between applications. One of the top tips for putting this on, by all accounts, is not to brush back and forward, but just to brush it on. How easy that will be, I don't know, but we shall wait and see. Well, I think we're going to go with that. That looks reasonable. And yeah, let's see how we get on. Okay, I'm just going to start in the corner and see what it looks like when it's on. Oh yeah, but you can see it going on. It is very thick stuff. Although the concept of not brushing back and forward, I suspect may be quite difficult, just because it is very thick and you want to kind of get it right in to everything. Now, I've been advised 750 ml is enough to do this whole tent in terms of the ground sheet, so I'm kind of hoping that is the case. But it's certainly, you can see it going on, and it is a very different look to the current fly sheet. Sorry, ground sheet. Very different look to the current ground sheet. Trying to get this really right into the edges. I don't know how much of this you will see with the way that I've got the camera set up, but hopefully. And really, I mean, the truth is I've actually bought a new tent. However, I am a firm believer in trying new things. So one of the other things that was wrong with this tent is that the seam seals on the inside of the fly sheet were deteriorated and they were all crumbly. So I bought some new seam sealing tape and thought I'm going to re-seam seal it. And actually, if anybody hasn't done that before, it's quite easy. An iron and the tape, and a little bit of perseverance, and away you go. It's not bad at all. Right, we're now getting onto the body of the fly sheet. I chose at this point to speed the footage up because nobody really wants to see me paint the whole tent. Okay, I'm going to let this dry and then come back later on and we'll see how it has turned out. Alright, cheers guys. Okay guys, so here we are. I think we're about 4 hours later. I've been out for a quick local walk. It's been nice. And as you can see, I mean the light's reflecting a little bit, but it's turned out quite well. A little bit of brush marks and stuff. And I guess what you can see there is some of the pattern of the flooring as I've been painting it on. That's been making an impression. But generally speaking, it's pretty good. And it's certainly, when you feel it, it's got a very kind of rubbery type of feel to it. So you can kind of tell that that's going to be waterproof. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to recoat the entrance area here. With another coat just to kind of give that a double protection, because probably where you put the most pressure on when you're just sitting about on a cold day with the door open cooking. So we're going to get that done and then we'll see how it goes. Okay, cheers. And there we go guys. That's the porch. That's the porch. Had a double coat. I'm going to be honest when I say I suspect there is not a more waterproof fly sheet in the whole world right now than the fly sheet of this 25-year-old North Face Westwind. Overall, pretty impressed at the moment. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of proof in the using of it, but first impressions is that this is some pretty impressive stuff from pastidip. Pretty easy to apply. And if you have a tent that has a ground sheet that is not as waterproof as it should be, I can, at this point, highly recommend it. £30 and you are ready to go. So yeah, once this dries out, I'll post a short clip and then we'll maybe get it pitched up tomorrow and see what it looks like. All right, guys, cheers.